Hello everyone. We'll be solving this one. C, Python indentation. So you can read the whole problem from here. You can try to understand. So I'll just summarize the whole problem for you. I'll just make it try to make as much as easy. So what we have to do is, here I'll just come. So all we need to do is, we need to process a series of commands to compute the sum of values in an array after applying transformations specified by the commands. Each command either shifts elements in the array. Again, I am telling, each command will either shift elements in the array or appends new values based on the command type that we have given. So what we are doing, again I will tell you, we need to process the series of commands. We are processing a series of commands to compute the sum of values in the array. To process the sum of values in the array after applying the transformations specified by the commands. So this is one thing. Second thing is, each command either shifts elements in the array. We are either shifting the elements in the array or we are appending the new values based on the command type. So these two things we have to understand. So what is the approach that we are going with? I'll just explain it step by step. Initially, we'll go with the input handling or the initialization. So first one is input reading. We'll make use of the script. We will read the input from the standard input stream and prepare it for the processing. Next, the data storage, right? We'll be making use of the array DP. We'll initialize the DP is initialized with the single element 1 initially. This array will be modified based on the commands. This is first thing. Just give me a second. So what we are doing, initially input handling, right? The first step would be input handling. We'll be making, we'll be reading the input from the standard input stream and prepare it for the processing. This is first step. Second step, what we are doing, in the first step itself, what we'll do, next we'll initialize the DP array with a single element, nothing but this one. We'll initialize the DP with the single element, that is nothing but DP of 1, this one, right? And this array will be modified based on the commands that we give. So this is first step. Second step, what we will do, we have to process the commands. So first thing is, this is first step. Second step, what we'll do, we will loop through the commands. We'll read number of commands first. Nothing but we will read the number of commands n first, this one. Next, we will loop through the commands. We will iterate through each command. Based on the command, we will be updating the DP array. Based on the command, we will be updating the DP array. So this one we will be doing in the second step. What we are doing, we are reading the number of commands n. Also, we are looping through the each command. Based on the command, we will be updating the DP array. This is the second step. So final step is, we will be outputting the result. Nothing but we will be displaying the result, right? So these three things we are doing. Let's write the code and try to understand the code, right? Just give me a second. I'll just come here. So initially, what we'll do, the first step, we will start by resuming the input stream and setting the encoding to UTF-8. So if you have followed the last problem, the input handling will be mostly similar for most of the problems. So I'll just give here process dot. I'll just give resume. Also, just give set encoding. Within this one, I'll just give UTF-8. So this is fine. So what we are doing here, we have started by resuming the input stream and by setting the encoding to UTF-8. Next, we will initialize the variable to collect the input data and to keep track of the current line. So this is simple. I'll just take the variable name input string, and I'll just initialize this one to the empty variable, empty string. Also, let me consider the variable name current line or line. I'll just take the variable name current line. So I'll just set this one initially to 0. Next, we will listen for data events which occur when new data is available for from standard input. In simple terms, I can just give process.stdin. I'll just make use of on. Let me give data here. Also, within this one, I'll just take input stdin. Let me delete this one. In. So here, I'll append the new data to the input string. Whenever we get the new data, we have to append the new data to the input string, right? For that purpose, I'll just give input string is equal to input string plus input stdin. So this is fine. Next, I'll just copy the same thing and make necessary changes. So here, what we are doing, we will listen for the end event. Previous one was for the data events, right? We were listening for the data events which occur when the new data is available from standard input. Here we are listening for the end event, which indicates that all the inputs has been received. Yeah, this one will be instead of data. This will be end. Let me delete this one. This is fine. This one has to be input string. I'll just remove this one. Input string equals input string. So I'll just make use of the trim to remove the white spaces. Let me make use of the split. I'll just give /n. Also, let me make use of the map. So inside the map, I'll just give string. So here, string dot return again the white spaces. I'll just make use of them. So this is fine. Next, we'll be calling the main function. So here we have to call the main function, but we have not written the main function yet. We'll be writing that one in the future. And after writing the main function, we'll call the main function here, right? I'll just leave the space over here. So next, what we will do, we will write the function to read the next line from the input data. So after reading the first line from the input data, we have to read the next line as well, right? The input in the next line. So for that one, we'll be writing the function. So I'll just give function, why this is not taking? And just give function read line. So I'll just return input string of current line plus. So here what we are doing, we are returning the current line and incrementing the line counter. So we need to read the next line as well. So for that purpose. So next, let's start with the main function. So the main logic will be writing in the main function. So I'll just give function main. So inside this, we'll be writing the main logic. Nothing but we'll handle the core logic of the problem here within the main function. So first, what we will do, let's define the modulus value for the modulo operation. So I'll just give const. In my case, I'll just take mod. Let me give. I can directly take 1e7. This is fine. We have not used this one, right? I'll just give 9 plus 7. This works as well. This is nothing but exponentiation. 9 plus 7. This is fine. Next, what we'll do, we'll initialize the DP array with the single element. While explaining the approach, I have said that we'll be making use of the, we'll initialize the DP array with the single element 1, right? This is simple. I'll just give DP equals 1. Next, we will read the number of comments and convert it to the number. So I'll just give const n equals plus read line. So this one, I'll just put one more braces here. So this works properly. So here, why we are making use of plus basically, I mean plus read line, this entire line, this one, this one, entire thing. By what we are doing here, we are reading the number of comments and converting that one to the number. So that is the reason. Just give me a second. What was wrong? Oh, this is fine. Next, we will loop through the each command except the last line. We are ignoring the last line, right? So that is the reason we are, we'll just ignore the last line and we will loop through each command except the last line. For looping, I'll just make use of the for loop. I equals 0. I scan n minus 1. Increment I. So I'll just give on's command. We have to read the current command. So I'll just give, I'll just make use of the read line. To read the current command, I'll just make use of the read line, right? I'll just make use of the variable name command. I'll just initialize this one to the read line. We are basically reading the current command. Next, if the command is yes, then we will update the DP array by accumulating values from right to left. So if command is yes, for this purpose, we can make use of if condition, right? If nothing but we have already considered the command variable here, this one. If command, which is if it is equal to yes, then what we can do, we can update the DP array by accumulating values from right to left. So again, I'll just make use of the for loop. Within this for loop, j equals, I'll just give I minus 1, j greater than or equal to 0, decrement the j. Why we are doing this one? Basically, we are accumulating the values from right to left. We are updating the DP array by accumulating the values from right to left. So that is the reason we are doing this step, right? So then nothing but reverse iteration. So next what we'll do, we'll update the DP of j with modulo. So this is simple. DP of j equals DP of j plus 1 plus DP of j. This one has to be completely this one module. I have considered mod, right? The caps. I think mod I have considered. Yeah, in the caps I have considered. This is fine. Yeah. We are updating the DP of j with modulo. Next step, what we will do, we will append the 0 to the end of DP. So to append the 0 at the end of the DP, simply we can make use of the push, right? So I'll just make use of the push and I'll just give 0. DP.push of 0. What we are doing here, we are just appending the 0 to the end of the DP. So this is, till now, this is if the command equals S, we perform these operations. Else, if the command is D, then let me write the else. Just give me a second. Yeah. Else, what we will do, we will insert the 0 at the beginning of the DP. So this was, we inserted this one, 0 at the end of the DP. So else if the command is D now, this was, command was, if it was equal to yes, then we did this. If the command is equal to D, then we will insert, we'll insert 0 at the beginning of the DP. To insert the element at the end, we had made use of push, and to insert the element at the beginning, we'll be making use of the unshift, right? So I'll just give DP dot unshift of, let me give 0 here. This is fair, right? So I hope this is clear till here. Next, we will read and ignore the last unused line. For that, I'll just call the read line over here. So this is fine. Then finally, we have to compute all the elements in the DP, apply the modulo, as well as we have to print the result. So for printing the result, I'll just make use of console log here, and we have to compute the sum of all the elements in the DP, and also we have to apply the modulo. How can we do that? I'll just make use of the reduce here. dp.reduce, I'll give accumulator, I'll just take ACC and the value. I'll just take val, or I'll just take value itself completely. So here, let me come here. So this one will be accumulator plus value. We are reducing this one to the single value, right? This one will be, consider this one with complete caps. So module, comma, 0. It starts from 0. So if you know the reduce operation, we'll be starting from 0, right? So I have given 0 here. This is fine. Finally, I'll call the main function over here after this one. I forgot, usually I forget this many times. So this is it. Let me come here. Let me copy this one. The output that we have to get here is 1. Let me give. So we are getting the output 1. Let's check for the next input. So here I'll come. Let me copy this one. Paste it over here. The output we have to get is 2 right here. Now, let me run. So this is working correctly. Just give me a second. So what I'll do, I'll just come here. Let me go to submit code. This is C, right? C Python indentation. So let me paste the whole code here. Let me hit the submit. So let's wait for some time. So this got accepted, right? This code works absolutely correct. So this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.